Tammy and I will be done with it in 3 weeks, but it won't be out until December.
December?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know.
Well, my guess is it'll actually be out in November. It'll start shipping in November, but they have like December 25th on the website.
You and Tammy Hahnemann.
Yes, Tammy Hahnemann and I co-author. It started out with my editor bugging me really badly about doing another book, and I kept saying no. And she said, "What would you like to read? Or what would you like to do?" And I said, "Well, what I'd like to do is have the book publisher send 10 artists to a fabulous location and record what happened." And they said, "Okay, woo!" So that's what we did. It was a week at the Outer Banks of North Carolina, and the most surprising thing was we sort of sold it to the artists who came as a vacation. And it wasn't. They all worked really hard before we even got there so we could have something to put in the book. And then we said, collaborate with each other. And I think everyone came away surprised that they learned something really cool too. I mean, these people have been working in polymer a long time and have never had to compromise. Or compromise probably isn't the best word. They've never had to think, how would I do this differently to accommodate this person who I know, admire, like their work. So it's fascinating. And it's all recorded. It was great. The point we were trying to get across was for the beginner, who these people were, what inside them made them do what they chose to do. And so that's the introduction to the artists that are there, kind of where they came from, where they come from in their work. And then there's a project, so you can do that yourself. So that's like a really great thing for even a beginner to get inspired from. But then it really digs deep into that collaboration of what happens when you let someone else in on your work. And how do you react to that? And how does the work move and change because you've let somebody else into this world where usually you're just solo? I mean, the way I described it was most artists envision themselves, or the world envisions them as being lonely and struggling alone in their studio and agonizing over the work. And so it's personal. But what happens when you turn it into having someone else impose all those expectations on you, and then have commentary from someone walking across the room, and what happens then? It's always been what interested me. That's why I always go to conferences and workshops and retreats. For us, it was less about the projects and more about the journey, and because it's what's interested both Tammy and I. It's what happens around the dinner table, what people talk about. It's a peek inside when that happens. And I always wanted to be a fly on the wall or attend. When I couldn't afford to attend, I wanted to be that fly. So that's what we did, created the fly. So I took a job this year. That's exciting. Never thought I would actually go back to work, but it's working for an art foundation. So I love that, and it's Tamarack Foundation, so that's near and dear to my heart. Doing accounting, which I'm good at, but not so near and dear to my heart.
How did you get from accounting to art?
I always wanted to do art. I wanted to go to art school. I wanted to major. My parents said, "You've got to be kidding me. Like, we've spent a lot of money on art lessons for you all your life, but be sensible, child." There was a big recession when I went into college, and they knew I was really good in business and math, and that's what I did, sort of pathed in high school. And accounting was easy, so that's what I majored in, was finance. So to find my way back to art was good. It was good. But really, truly, like, I started thinking about this. Where it started was from the business angle of it. There were a group of friends who were getting together to do art projects, and I just happened to be doing the weird little polymer things. They were doing wood or fiber or stuff. And we said, hey, let's open up a shop where we can consign our own work. And we knew other artists that were doing good things, but only at Christmas, because that was the only time that we could do it. And so for 3 months, we opened this little shop in our hometown. And so it started for me in the business angle of it, because that was what I contributed to the shop, was the accounting and the taxes and blah, blah. But I also got to sell my work. And so then it just sprang up from that. But there's always been a little behind the scenes business flowing through. I did wholesale first, never did shows or retail.
You never did show?
Mm-mm.
Never did retail?
Mm-mm.
Huh.
Well, no, I shouldn't say that. I did a little hometown festival-y kind of thing a couple times. But I didn't want to, as much as I like to talk, I don't like to sell myself. So handing it off to somebody else to do that was a lot easier.